be doing the same thing. And so we cannot get rid of that abnormal locking of the patella. Okay, now so what is prerequisite for locking of the patella? The stifle needs to be slightly overextended so that the patella can come over the medial ridge of the trochlea, and then it would be rotated laterally by 15 degrees. It would be rotated medially by 15 degrees. To unlock it, still slight overextension needed. Quickly rotate it laterally. The stifle is now unlocked. Okay, so that is called locking unlocking mechanism of the stifle. And so it is to make sure that the stifle is locked, the hock is also locked in extension. And when both of them are locked now in extension, the hind limb itself would function as one column or one pillar on which the body weight is being rested. As this is fixed on the ground surface, it cannot move forward or backward. Now what we need to do is just need to stabilize the hip joint a little bit by using those bulky muscles around the hip to make sure that it doesn't do this or this. Otherwise, once it is fixed on the ground, it automatically would be fixed by the body weight as well as little activity of the gluteal muscles. Okay, so that is, or these are the two major systems in the hind limb, which makes the stay apparatus of the hind limb more mechanical in nature. Once the patellar ligaments they take over the extension of the stifle, the quadriceps muscle has, like all of them, those four heads of the quadriceps, they don't have to worry about extension at all. They would completely be relaxed, they would be resting, no muscle fatigue would occur in the quadriceps femoris. And so muscles extending the hock, really they have to do nothing as well, because hock is automatically extended. The only thing which are now being stretched, those are the peroneus tertius, and as it is extension, the superficial digital flexor is under stress. Okay? Maybe that stress after some time that stress would become intolerable, and then horse would now decide to shift the weight on the other hind leg. Okay? So the patellar locking system and reciprocal apparatus are the important additions or important components of the hind limb stay apparatus. As in the forelimb laceratus fibrosus is one of the key feature of the forelimb stay apparatus. In the hind limb, both of them, they have to be in function in order to use the stay apparatus of the hind limb. Okay, now what if you have the horse which has abnormal locking of the patella? You tried all the conservative methods, it didn't work, and now you have to cut the medial patellar ligament. You perform medial patellar desmotomy on that horse. Now that horse cannot use the patellar locking system, and so now it will affect use of the stay apparatus as well. So what that horse is going to do? Now it will compensate that inability with bearing equal weight on both of the hind limbs and shifting that weight to the other hind limb more frequently. Okay? Because other hind limb cannot use. And remember, the abnormal locking may occur unilaterally. It is not necessary that it should happen in both of the limbs at the same time. If some systemic disorders they affect the stifle joint on both sides, then it might be the case. But usually it may occur unilaterally as well. Okay?
Was that horse age faster than in the other knee? The one you didn't cut?
It would be a little bit more on stress. So you might see disorders more frequently in the other one, because now the more stress has been passed on to the other stifle joint. But really, as we said, the stifle, the conditions like osteoarthritis and others, those are less likely to happen here as opposed to the hock. They are more commonly occurring at the hock as well as at the fetlock joint. Couple of things we haven't really mentioned those one, maybe because of lack of time or something. We could also see the conditions called ring bones, okay, as well as we have complete ossification of the collateral cartilages, side bones, and other things. They usually occur at the bones which are less movable, because then the bone would get enough time and chance to have excessive growth of the bone. But for the joints which are continuously moving, the bone would not get that much time and like enough space to get the excessive growth of the bone. Okay, so what usually happens then? You have the cunian tendon, which is the medial division of the insertion of the cranial tibial muscle, what happens with this tendon? It continuously causes pressure on the third tarsal bone. Okay. Now what about the joints here? The tarsocrural joint, most movable. Then proximal intertarsal, little movable. Distal sorry, distal intertarsal and tarsometatarsal, not movable. Sorry. So most of the time when you see bony growths, they are occurring at the more stable bones, while more disorders with the joint and joint cavity would be seen with the most movable joints. Okay? Like your